welcome back to my little channel. We're going to have a little mini-series today, about 3.5 hours of, entertainment, we'll see. 6 episodes, just 6 episodes by 35 minutes, so at least they're short enough, aren't they? We're going to have a look at something called Keep Breathing. This is a survival drama limited series. Yeah, I like a good survival drama, I could do with it. This is by Martin Gero and Brendan Goal for Netflix. It premiered on Netflix on July the 28th, 2022, and I'm recording this on the 1st of August, and all the scores and comments is at 12 noon on the 1st of August, 2022. So let's have a look what we're thinking. The Public, about Joe Public, Internet Movie Database, the guys who put the scores on there, 5.2 out of 10, so a little bit below what we like to see. That's 2,329 scores have been left. 929 people scored it between 6 and 9, and 976, so slightly more, scored it between 2 and 5. So just a 49% what I call positivity, so a little bit less than the overall score. What's it about? Well, it's about a small plane. Just a three. Well, it's a pilot, another guy, and this young lady, a small plane, so it probably can carry 1 or 2 more, crashes in the middle of the Canadian wilderness. A lone woman must battle the elements and odds to survive. So there you go. So it should be enough to fill 6 episodes, shouldn't it? That's for sure. Rotten Tomatoes audience, yeah, what do they actually give it? 46% as well. So the audience isn't overly enthused, is it? So we'll have a look at the critics in a minute. Who does it star? Who's in it? Well, the very watchable Melissa Barrera's in this. She's the main character, of course. You've got Jeff Wilbush, Florence Lozano, Juan Pablo Espinosa, and Austin Stowell. So familiar faces if you watch a lot of US stuff. On to the critics. Yeah, let's have a look. We'll look at the public who are not overly impressed. What about the critics? Well, they're not overly impressed either. Rotten Tomatoes, just a 38% positivity rating, a rating of 5.4 out of 10. Well, that's only based on 13 critics. Metacritic, the other site we look at, 45% positivity, just based on 7 critics, and 1 was positive, 6 were mixed, and there was no negative. So we'll take that. Hey, we'll take that as a success, no negative. And it scored anywhere between 40, which was mainly the main score, and there was the odd 70 out of 100 as well. Look at the individual critics themselves. For the Independent UK, we've got Inga Parkel. So it was a little bit rotten on this. It said, where its predecessors were inventive in their approach, I assume she's talking about survival films, Keep Breathing plods along, tediously unrealistic and painfully predictable. You might even find yourself rooting for Liv's demise in an effort to stir up some excitement. That's a bit cruel, isn't it? I wouldn't go that far, but I do accept what she's getting at with that. Daniel Daddario from Variety said, Keep Breathing is, despite some nice moments, few and far between, fairly forgettable, making its greatest achievement its willingness not to keep viewers on the hook for hours longer than necessary. Sometimes that's impressive enough. There you go, turn a positive into a negative. Thankfully for me anyway, the 6 episodes were 45 minutes approximately. That would have been better. It definitely felt a lot longer than 35-minute episodes, that's for sure. But Daniel was actually fresh on it on Rotten Tomatoes, so he was positive. But as I said, it was turning a big negative into a positive for me there. The Guardian's Lucy Mangan. Well, there's a couple of guys on Metacritic, they're both a bit dodgy on it. Just 40 out of 100. She said, rather than perch on the edge of your seat, you are more likely to drift off gently to sleep or fall off your seat to sleep. Perhaps dreaming of a pleasant holiday in a log cabin and wake up when it's all over. Well, Lucy, we can only wish, can't we, look? Decider Joel's Keller, he liked it actually. He was the exception to a more or less rule of not liking it. He gave it 70 out of 100. He said, one of the things we like about the 6-episode limited series is that the episodes are all around 30 minutes. So you're not seeing Liv wandering around the wilderness for hours on end. I'll be honest with you, I would have killed for a bit of wandering and a bit more action than we get, because it's mainly told through flashbacks. It's a certainly 50-50 split between flashbacks and what she's doing. The flashbacks are uninteresting to say the least. It is nice enough, yeah. My little thoughts before we finish. As you can probably gather, I'm not overly enthused with this one. I mean, it's nice enough to spend some time with Melissa Barrera. Very pleasant watching the young lady. I mean, despite the obvious troubled character she is in her real life, I'm not talking about the actress. I'm talking about the character she's playing. The survival side to this is pretty weak. I got all giddy when a bear appeared, but it's a bit wishy washy. No real excitement in there. It's not exactly. Was it Brad Pitt who got ripped apart in that film by a bear that time? I can't remember now. But yeah, it's just the survival side. And the most exciting thing is picking which berries to eat and which berries are going to kill her. So, I mean, that was possibly the highlight of the survival side. Constant flashbacks, generally mundane, doesn't tell us a lot. It tells a little bit about the character, and it tries to make her not like her, I don't think, rather than like her, which we want to do anyway. But some of the other characters and the conscience, she has a conscience who appears in various guises and stuff like that. It's just mundane. It's nothing special. It's just, even for the 35-minute episodes, it sort of drags along. Despite, as I said, the lead Melissa Barrera's brave attempts to make something of it. A pleasant but very rushed ending. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of sort of getting it done and finished, I think. And but I think most of us, and I'd almost given up by then. I'd found other things to do while it was on in the background, in all fairness. So I'm not going to give this a score. I don't think it warrants a 5, which is my minimum. I say I would probably score it nearer a 4. Not a total disaster, but no score from me. Just too long, which is surprising for a 6 times 35-minute miniseries. To say something like that is too long. It's not a good sign, is it? Unexciting and a bit uninteresting for me, despite the lead doing a very, very best for it. It's just I do want. It's all right looking at watching someone for 3.5 hours, but something's got to happen as well. That's the whole point of a story and a plot, etc. But I would love to see the script for this one. That's for sure. It should have been many pages long. Definitely. Anyway, let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you like it. You could have liked it. It wasn't up my street, that's for sure. Up my wilderness, that's for sure. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Please, till we meet again, stay safe, everyone. Bye.